Welcome to another edition of the Justin Miller Podcast, otherwise known as Justinomics, found at athenabible.podcast.com. I have put off trying to develop this podcast for about a month. The month of January, I sort of embarked on this idea to create a new, redo the podcast, to press some points, to share some ideas, kind of a audio blog, so to speak. But I had some other priorities, and I got some advice of different kinds. But one thought was to emphasize St. Paul's exhortation to live a quiet life and mind your own business and work with your own hands, etc. So that seemed sensible. But I still have this podcast, and I'm still paying for it. And then today I was reminded of something that I want to share, and to try it and see if I can't get some feedback and get some sense of the importance or interest in what I have to say. And so the topic that has come to mind is the topic of engaging with the world's produce in a way, and the society's produce, in the societal conversation that starts with the creative produce of a film, and how that is received, and how it's popular generally, but how we as Christians should receive such a thing, how we as Orthodox Christians in particular, and as an Orthodox Christian community that is united as a worshiping community, or ought to be, or is trying to be, how we respond to such a thing. So here's what's happened. I saw in my news source this morning, which is here's a shout out for the 1440 Daily Digest, which is a 10-minute read of the latest headlines. And one of the headlines today, one of the, what do they call it, need to know headlines, is about the Oscars, the Oscar Awards, Academy Awards. Yeah. I don't know much about it, don't follow movies that much. But what I saw today is a headline about the major awards season coming to a close on Sunday, February 9th, 2020. It's the 92nd Academy Awards, and it'll be live from the Dolby Theater in Hollywood on ABC at 8 p.m. The ceremony is top-heavy with favorites, with Joaquin Phoenix's brooding Joker entering with 11 nominations, and other news there. So the key that jumps out to me is this movie, The Joker. And the reason for that is that it came up to my attention last fall. I never would have noticed. I don't know that I ever noticed this movie coming out. I can't remember now. But back in October, I was a little shocked by an Orthodox Christian brother in my community sharing that he had seen the movie and was disturbed by it. He had gone to see it and paid to see it in the theater, was disturbed by it, but had also seen an evaluation by another Orthodox man on a YouTube channel Mr. Jonathan Pajau, that gave some commentary on it that he thought was helpful and interesting. So this troubled me greatly. This troubled me that this brother of mine had spent his money and his time to go and see such a thing, and was disturbed by it, but not to the point of coming to senses to say, well, why did I waste my time with this? But rather finding some value in it as social commentary or whatever, and helped in this by another Orthodox man. So I looked into it. I went and watched the commentary, and I had some reaction. I almost shared this with the forum that brings some men of our community together in a sloppy-ish way that doesn't usually amount to much and has become quite frustrating for me. But I saved what I had written, but I didn't share it, but I tucked it away in a private place for myself, and I want to share it. I just, right or wrong, I don't know, but I'm compelled to share it in some way, and preferably in a broader way than just directly to an individual, or even more narrowly to a group, a specific group of folks. And I understand why people blog now, and I see, if I had a blog, I would write an article, a blog post about this. But I don't have a blog at the moment, and I have this, and so I just want to share it as an audio blog and let people take it or leave it, but ask that if anyone is inclined to engage, that they follow the podcast on the Podbean.com website or the app in the iPhone or Android. So the Podbean app, that's Podbean, Podbean.com, Athena Bible, as one word, .podbean.com. It takes you to the podcast, and you can click the follow plus button. And you'll have to create an account or else sign in with a Google account or a Facebook account. And you can follow along and leave comments. And you can also contact through the contact page at the website. So here's some thoughts about it. So I watched Jonathan Pajau's interpretation of the Joker. This is on a YouTube channel that Jonathan Pajau has, that he does lots of commentary on movies with some emphasis on symbolism. And I'm not sure of the man's credibility. I've enjoyed some articles, at least one article of his. Maybe there's a series on cosmology. I read at least 2 articles, I believe, from that. And he's evidently an iconographer, specifically an iconographer of wood carving. And he's an artist and a member of an artist guild of Orthodox artists, I believe. I don't remember the name of it. So he's got a a dandy bit of content, so many YouTube videos and other articles and such. He has something of a following. I know his YouTube channel has at least some 60,000 followers. But, we could have another discussion on what that amounts to. But anyway, he's there. And he did a commentary on this subject, this movie. But I'll continue with my thoughts that I recorded in October. The interest in watching such a movie among our Orthodox Brotherhood really disturbs me. Literally, why the hell? I tried looking for the chance to talk more about it over the weekend that we were together, but didn't seem to find the context. Then on the next Monday morning when some of us got together, but didn't seem to find the context. However, I did find Mr. Pageau's analysis fascinating. But it is enough for me. The thing is, the story might be interesting, but is it beneficial to engage with it? When you place such a stream of powerful images in front of yourself, you give yourself over to it. It is different than graphic scenes in the Bible or other storytelling. This is especially disturbing given my concern over attendance at the divine services. On the one hand, a person like Pageau with over 60,000 followers, who are from all walks of life, has something of a duty to screen such things and give his expert response to it. That was one bit that I recorded, and then I also wrote this, intending to direct it directly to this man who had gone to see the movie. So I also watched Pageau's analysis of the Joker. I found it fascinating, but I would rather we all just avoided such things. It kind of bothers me to hear about you watching such a thing and another brother wanting to see it. I really don't understand. I wanted to find a moment to ask about it, but didn't. I can understand a personality like Pageau, who has over 60,000 followers. Many of them are foolishly wasting their time exposing their minds to such things and need a sane explanation. So such a person, and I would include pastors, may have a duty to provide analysis. But it seems that most of us Christians would be out of line to go seeking it just because we're interested. If my son were clamoring for it, going and consuming such things, I would feel an obligation to join and seek such lessons from it, but I would never recommend it and would discourage it. Read Psalm 100. I call it the TV Psalm. It is interesting what Pageau draws out of it, but that doesn't make it actually valuable or within the will of God for his people. There is some truth to be found in almost every story and ideology, but it is not for most Christians to go mining in shallow veins for the little bits of truth when the fullness of truth is available to us. That is what's most disturbing, that our men are bothering with such things while neglecting the divine services. But I say all this to demonstrate why I do not understand. That's why I don't understand. I do not anticipate being able to understand, but I would like to try and give you all the benefit of the doubt. I certainly may be missing something. If it is just a latent interest in movies and sci-fi and comic universes, superheroes, cultural narratives, I would encourage you to wean yourself from it, or rather escape it with your life. But maybe there's more to it. If you want to dialogue, I'm okay with it. So, that's kind of what I have to say about that. And I don't know any other way to raise this alarm, or at least present it so that maybe I can be corrected. I really don't think so. I guess I'll conclude this by reading Psalm 100 to punctuate what I mean by suggesting it and why it compels me to be cautious and discourage this kind of idle interest. So it's Psalm 100 in the Septuagint, I believe. Let's see here. Well, it's Psalm 101 in the King James Bible. So let's read it from the King James. Just get to where I can read it. Okay, so Psalm 101, a Psalm of David. I will sing of mercy and judgment. Unto thee, O Lord, will I sing. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when wilt thou come to me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. A froward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor, him will I cut off. Him that hath a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all wicked doers from the city of the Lord. There you have it. If that psalm is read daily as it is appointed in the first hour prayers, I really don't see how a Christian can justify just the idle and passive consumption of wickedness that one finds in such movies, television, YouTube, etc. Let alone outright wickedness and pornography, etc. So there you have it. And I beg your feedback so that I can know if there's any point in me doing this. I don't wish to waste my time, and yet I want to know if it may be of some help, if maybe the Lord may call me to this. So let me know via email or following the podcast and commenting, whatever may work. Thank you, and God be with you hereafter and forever. Amen.